There's a couple exciting gaming news stories we have to talk about today, starting with Fall Guys getting its multi-platform launch event that not only confirms it to be headed to the Nintendo Switch next month, also it includes a very hype detail that I don't think anybody was expecting. Then the big talking point for today's video has to do with the next generation Nintendo Switch hardware, as there is a new Nvidia job listing online that has a lot of people questioning whether or not this is directly to work on Nintendo's next gen console and specifically developer tools around it. We have to dive into all of the information we have and have a discussion on when we can expect some kind of official announcement from Nintendo around new hardware. What's up, Nation? If it's your first time on the channel, make sure you join Sunbro Nation by subscribing below, hit the like button on this video if you enjoy it today, and make sure you turn on your bell notification icon so you're kept up to date with all the newest gaming news. Now, as I mentioned, guys, we got a couple different stories to discuss today, and we have to kick it off with a conversation around Fall Guys holding their multi-platform event today. It was the big announcement that we did talk about last week, as they did officially confirm it would be happening on May 16th, Monday, which is today at the time of filming this video. And was this a hype event? Yes, it was, because not only did we learn that yes, this game will indeed be headed to both Nintendo Switch and Xbox platforms in addition to the Epic Game Store, but this will actually launch as a free-to-play title on all of these platforms with full cross-play support, which is a huge deal because you can literally play online against anybody on any system that they are on, whether that be the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X or S, PC, or Nintendo Switch, which is going to be massive, of course, for the player base, but also for the ease of use of wanting to maybe play on the go on your Switch. And then if you are a multi-platform holder, you may get home and whenever you're on your TV, you may pop it on your PS4 or PS5. Like, it is a very cool prospect to have, and I hope that as we walk forward into the gaming future that we see more and more cross-platform titles support cross-play online, because it just makes a ton of sense in the modern era to be able to play on whatever device the game is available on and not have to worry about starting over in a brand new save file or losing your rankings or character customization just depending on what platform you're playing on. The saves are essentially tied to your online account, which can be loaded up regardless of the device that you are on. So that is a huge win and definitely something we need to see more of. In addition to all that, they're also working on something further down the line from the sounds of it that will actually let you create your own Fall Guys rounds. And I'm not sure of all of the details on that, but some kind of level editor or play style editor, if you will, which will be a very interesting thing to see how they implement that. And while the free to play announcement is also very hype, do keep in mind that this is going to be designed to make money over the course of time. So I'm sure certain seasons and expansions that we see down the line for Fall Guys will require purchase, but just the fact that at launch on your Nintendo Switch, you can go in and download this incredible online multiplayer battle royale style game where you're essentially fighting to be the #1 remaining contestant at the end of an elimination style round with very unique level design, by the way, very simple pick up and play controls. Like, the game is actually a ton of fun, and don't be fooled by just the very kiddie art style. Like, I legitimately have fun playing this game online. I did purchase it at its $20 price point, and now that it's free to play across the board on any console, I think it's a huge win, and it'll definitely be interesting to see what the partnership with Nintendo entails, because I would love to get some kind of Mario costumes in there, some kind of Zelda costumes in there. Like, definitely the possibilities are endless, although it will be interesting to see how that will actually unfold, because if you are multi-platform, is my Link character going to be showing up when somebody is playing on their PlayStation account? Like, that would definitely be an interesting scenario if they do allow stuff like that. But with it being officially out for the Nintendo Switch on June 21st, there is a ton of reason to hop in and at least check out this game and see if it is for you. So I want to hear from you guys in the comments down below what you thought of today's presentation. If you did get a chance to watch it, how do you feel about the free to play announcement, at least for the season 1 right now? And definitely share with me whether or not you were like me and you hope that we see more cross online multiplayer as we walk forward into the future, because I think it is a huge win for gamers at the end of the day. So I want to hear from you guys on all things Fall Guys and this brand new information in the comments down below. Now, the other story we're talking about today has to do with Nintendo and their next generation hardware plans. As if you follow Nintendo news online at all, you are probably no stranger to the conversation of fans expecting some kind of more powerful Switch revision, and or at this point, since we're over 5 years into the Switch's current life cycle, a lot of fans are just expecting whatever's next to be the true next generation system from Nintendo. And regardless of what you think they're planning with all of that, there is definitely some concrete evidence that they are absolutely at least developing what is next next at this point. Timeline of release and all of that stuff can be highly debated online, but one thing that is concrete is that they are working on what is next. And as time has gone on, there has been only more and more evidence to support that, such as a month or two back, it was discovered as part of that unfortunate Nvidia data leak that happened where they were essentially cyber attacked and had a lot of their internal files leaked online, that there were clear references to a new GPU that is being worked on internally with a code name NVN2, which of course the graphics API for the original Switch is NVM, leading a lot of people to assume that yes, indeed, this is the Switch Pro or a more powerful or maybe just the next gen version of the Switch, and it absolutely has support for DLSS technology that we would expect Nintendo to utilize, as that is AMD's AI upscaling tech that would essentially allow, with very minimal power output, the ability to upscale images to 4K resolutions, not natively, but using AI, and that's probably the only way we will see Nintendo truly achieve that kind of resolution while still keeping the Switch or Switch 2's form factor small enough to still be a comfortable, playable handheld console as well. And now, in addition to that Nvidia leak and the NVM2 folder and all of the clear indications that yes, there is development underway for more powerful Switch hardware right now, you also have a very interesting job listing directly from Nvidia that has people talking online because, well, yes, the job pretty much says that they need a developer to strictly design tools to help video game console manufacturers take advantage of Nvidia GPUs, and you know that Sony and Microsoft don't use Nvidia, so when you see video game console referenced, well, we have to logically assume that we are talking about Nintendo in this case. And to quickly read through some of what this job entails and what has been spotted, let's quickly hop over to Tech for Gamers, where they do have some of the highlights of this post listed as follows. Nvidia is looking to hire a deeply technical, creative, and hands-on software engineer to pioneer the next generation of graphic developer tools for game consoles. You will work with Nvidia graphics tools teams to build tools that enable developers worldwide to harness the full power of Nvidia GPUs. Then some notable job requirements are experience developing drivers for GPUs, experience with GPU low-level performance tuning and optimization, including profiling and debugging, background in the game industry or in a field that requires high-performance graphics, create graphics profiler features for NVIDIA GPUs, enabling developers to achieve higher and more consistent frame rates, implement graphics debugging features by reading/writing GPU registers and memory, and by processing and manipulating GPU commands at the driver level. So whether or not you subscribe to the idea that Nintendo is going to do another more powerful revision of the Switch before its current life cycle, or if you just think whatever's next is the true next generation console, it is still very interesting to see all of this information continue to pop up online, signifying that yes, indeed, Nintendo is absolutely working on what is next, as they should be at this point in the Switch's life cycle. And my personal hope is whatever we do see them do, whether it be a more powerful Switch revision and a longer life cycle of the current Switch, or if it's just the true next gen Switch, I hope they don't overcomplicate things and veer off their current course. Nintendo absolutely struck gold with the Switch hybrid concept, and I think the thing that makes the most sense to them if they are ready for next gen is to just keep it simple and truly make it the Nintendo Switch 2, a more powerful version of the current console that we have that can run games in 4K when docked, that has better battery life, that just simply can perform better graphically and give us better, more consistent frame rates and textures across the board, and hopefully see more third-party support from titles that sometimes developers don't even choose to bring over natively and just try to do the cloud port version, if any ports at all come to the Switch, because of some of the hardware limitations and extra work it takes to develop for the Switch with its lower powered GPU. If we get something closer to like the performance of what a PS4 or even a PS4 Pro would be, but with the ability to take it on the go with you, I think that is absolutely a winning strategy for Nintendo and could propel them for another 3 to 5 years of fantastic Switch sales and just keep this momentum going where the Nintendo Switch is a household staple name at this point. And definitely don't make the mistake of not making it backwards compatible, because the library of games that we have on the Switch is so incredible and it absolutely needs to roll forward to whatever is around the corner from here. I am hopeful that that is what Nintendo's strategy is. Of course, historically, we have always seen them somewhat experiment with wacky ideas, and they kind of feel like, even according to President Shintaro Furukawa most recently at investors meetings, they feel like to actually justify a new next generation console that they need to have some kind of new unique gameplay experience that goes along with it, which is why we see them do things like gimmicks like from the DS to the 3DS. Now the screen has 3D. Well, I enjoyed the 3DS more for the fact that the graphics just looked better and the games ran better, not so much the fact that I could put it into that weird 3D thing where it kind of tricks your eyes to see depth when it's not really there. And then of course we had the biggest departure from like traditional controls diving headfirst into motion in the Wii era. Then the Wii U has the 2-screen gamepad mechanic. We don't need to overcomplicate it this time. The hybrid formula works. It is fantastic. Fans are here for it. I'm here for it. And I just certainly hope that whenever we do get some kind of announcement for new hardware, that it is a Nintendo Switch 2 or a Nintendo Switch Pro, or just something that is still in that hybrid category, because I think Nintendo has definitely found the right formula for them. But guys, at this point in the video, I want to hear from you on both the stories we talked about today. Are you hyped for Fall Guys hitting Switch next month, and are you planning on checking it out? Of course, since it is free to play as well. What do you think of cross-platform play online with games, and do you want to see more of it? And then the big question I want to hear from you guys on is, what do you personally think Nintendo is planning with the next generation break of their hardware? Do you think we're getting a more powerful revision of the current Switch before we talk about the true next gen, or do you think that next gen does happen as soon as next year or even into 2024? So regardless of your thoughts and feelings on everything we talked about today, I do look forward to hearing from you guys in the comments down below before you leave the video, as I do look forward to getting a back and forth conversation started with you all around these topics. Make sure you check out the weekend video if you haven't already, where we discuss a very interesting update around the long rumored Zelda 35th anniversary games, which of course they are not that anymore, but of course we're talking about Wind Waker and or Twilight Princess HD making it onto the Switch, and specifically the developer of Twilight Princess stating that they have not been contacted from Nintendo, what that might mean for the game's releases. Also make sure you like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next video.